I read now from the opening of the classic teleplay. Note, the edited for television version. Bar patron. Hey! Yo, you! Get up! What are you, recharged? Get off the flippin' car! Raving belch. Hey, Dateless, get off the fudging car. Listen to me. Get off the fudging car with your fudge-sickle Alps. Parker. Shut that cook's mouth or I'll come over there and fudge start her head. Raving belch. You're going to wish you never got up this frying morning aspen hole because my boyfriend's gonna fight you up. And then after that, while he's fighting up your fighting guy uncle over there, I'm gonna flip and cut off your cork and mail it to your mother, you clucking fago bench.
Wow, so dirty for TV. But good Sarah Silverman impression.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it was great.
Spent a lot of time here.
Uh-huh. Yeah, well done.
So, who's the brains of this podcast? I don't think this is a brains kind of podcast.
That's cinema, baby.
Sonny Corleone was a Long Island tough, big eggplant energy, but it wasn't enough. Quattro lived in a belly, but he got one in the brain. My feet exploded, Nessie driving RoboCop insane. Clyde had a gun for fighting, Bonnie wanted one for fun. They was only 24 and 25, and she got 26 shots when they died. And there were squibs when they died.
Hello and welcome to The Good, the Pod, and the Ugly, a film podcast where we normally cover the filmographies of notable directors or actors, but this season, season 15, we are covering an effect, the squib, often used as a blood squib in films when people get shot, but also used to make little holes in doors, windows, cars, trees, etc. I'm your host, Ken.
I'm Thomas.
I'm Ryan. I'm not Sarah Silverman.
Ryan is definitely not Sarah Silverman.
Silverman.
Silver Silverman. My favorite superhero. It's the Jewish Silver Surfer.
Great and Fantastic Four, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I think you said your name was Jack.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're covering The Way of the Gun. Came out in 2000. We've paired it with, for whatever fucking reason, Miller's Crossing. We jumped out of the temporal pincer movement to have a 2000s movie paired with a 1990 movie. But these movies have like, this is a tough one, y'all. Have what they have in common. I guess they both have a somewhat unflattering description or discussion of homosexuality.
Mm-hmm.
They both have father and son moments. Hey, there's a boss man's lady having an affair with a trusted advisor in both.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Both came out in years ending in 0. Both made about $5 million domestically. There's a bar scene in both. Oh, both cast a Toro, John Turturro and Benicio del Toro.
Ooh.
Very
right?
good. Yeah.
Both have police connections that they use to stay out of jail, and both have the mob in it.
Very good.
Very good.
And both also feature squibs, which we are covering.
Yes.
Oh.
And even though Miller's Crossing is a Coen brother movie and is not Fargo, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Noah Hawley, who created the Fargo TV show, has also seen Way of the Gun more times than all of us combined.
Probably.
What makes you say that?
Because Way of the Gun seems like a season of Hawley's Fargo, a later season when it wasn't very good. It hasn't been very good.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Those might be fighting words depending on how you feel about this movie.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be in one corner of this boxing ring against the three of you.
Yeah, well, it's great that we have 4 corners because I'm going to swing in multiple directions, including... well, that's just, I guess, who I am. But I'm going to swing at y'all in multiple different directions. Who chose this piece of shit? I'm sorry, no reactions.
It was Jack.
Okay. Because in 2000, Dancer in the Dark came out, Memento, Requiem for a Dream, and Space Cowboys. We've all covered on this pod.
Woo! Pretty good
year.
selection, and Dancer in the Dark.
Yeah.
Let's go around. First time?
No, third time.
You've seen the? Oh, wow. Okay.
Third or
Well-
fourth.
I'm a McQuarrie head, man. Sorry. Jack?
You're swimming in the McQuarium.
Yes.
I saw this when I was probably about 13 and thought it was the greatest movie I had ever seen, and probably tried to write about 4 or 5 different stories and screenplays ripping this off. And then yesterday I watched it for the second and third time.
Wow.
Once with director's commentary.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense.
On either of those, for publishers, for the screenplays or other thing, did you write a McQuarrie letter? That's how you get started. No, McQuarium's so much better. This is my first and hopefully last time that I do own it. And if you write into the Good, the Pod, the Ugly, I will mail this to you. I will pay the shipping to get this out of my house. Again, no reactions yet.
We have a copy. I got it when I was in Seattle back in May because it was on the list back then. And I went to a record store in a basement. It was like a 95-degree day. And there it was. It was just sitting. It was the only thing in the store. It may be haunted. I don't know.
Well, I think you guys will be surprised to find out, we'll get into it later, that another person who doesn't like this movie very much is named Christopher McQuarrie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Christopher McQuarrie won the Oscar for Best Screenplay for Usual Suspects.
Yes.
And this was his cashing in the cachet from that. And he would be in director jail until, 2007? Whenever Reacher came out.
2012.
2012.
It was more, we can get into McQuarrie's history whenever you guys want to, but it was actually more dire than that, than just director jail. He was ready to leave the industry when he met Tom Cruise.
Yes, the commentary that I listened to was recorded in 2009, and I was very surprised to hear him. Joe Kramer, who did the score, is also on the commentary, and he asked him if he was ever going to direct another movie again, and he said, "I don't know." And
it's
did
weird
Reacher with Tom Cruise.
Huh.
Yeah,
it's weird that on that I started listening to that commentary because it's on my disc, again, available to anyone who wants it. And I was surprised that he decided to have on Joe Kramer as like Joe Kramer's interviewing him a little bit, maybe like keeping him focused on the movie or like prompting him to talk about it.
Yes.
Kramer's like one of the best parts of this movie. I love his score.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying, like, what did I say? The main theme. I was like, this is the music in the dog's head when I'm preparing their food.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he has Kramer on as almost... Kramer has also an isolated music track that he does a commentary for, which I haven't watched yet, but I definitely will in the future because he's a really, really funny guy, and he makes numerous jokes and references that Christopher McQuarrie, friend of the podcast, has no sense of humor. And he's kind of playing the straight man a little bit and getting off track on this commentary. It's a little annoying.
I think McQuarrie was recording on his own, and then Kramer just burst in.
And then everyone clapped.
And everybody clapped, and then he started recording with him.
Oh, that's a Seinfeld reference. Listen back 2 episodes to what I talk about the 1990s on Caught Stealing.
Yes. And if you want to go further back to Graham Greene dressing in jeans and sneakers like Jerry Seinfeld, you can do that too.
Oh, for our Clear Cut episode this season as well.
Yeah.
It didn't seem hey, we got so much background on this bomb ass film. It's amazing. Because it did seem like it wasn't that he had the pick of the litter for what he wanted to do next. No one wanted to give him money. Like, he was going to places asking for money for this film, and they're like, "No, you're a first-time director. Like, why would we do that? Stay in your writer pin and don't leave. Keep punching up stuff and not getting credit for it."
Mm-hmm.
And this was his fuck you. I mean, this was a big middle finger to the entire industry and the entire idea of making a film like this at the time. He says he was sick of, quote, what was dangerous last year now being homogenized. And we talk about the post Tarantino crime film, but he was really fed up and sort of nihilistic about the state of the film industry and how people perceive violence on screen. And this was his reaction to that. And
Really?
it's no wonder how vile and dirty and nihilistic and kind of gross this entire movie is, because this is a movie about the movies that were coming out at the time.
I actually caught that. I didn't know any of that, but when watching the movie, does seem like a counter to those ironic post Tarantino, morally weightless.
Yeah.
Kind of like, the CGI makes the physics feel weightless. It feels like violence and crime movies at that era. They all had kind of a wink to them. And another movie, similarly, as a big fuck you, that this is kind of reminiscent of and not as deeply nihilistic as Peckinpah's Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is also has a lot of similarities, but that would be a great pairing with this one. There's squibs in that movie.
Oh, true.
There's a pregnant lady.
True.
There's white pants that get all dirty by the end. And it more or less ends with a gunshot.
Yeah, and
in Mexico.
McQuarrie apologizes numerous times on this track to Sam Peckinpah or any Sam Peckinpah fans, because he feels like he just completely ripped him off, especially Alfredo Garcia.
Okay, so I'm not crazy.
No.
Well, no.
Well,
let's
not get carried away, Ken.
Yeah. You did find this DVD in a basement record store with nothing else in it.
Was it like the room that they trap Solomon Lane in at the end of Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, but instead of just an empty glass box, there's the DVD there? And so he couldn't get this movie made. It was really only when he started collabing with Benicio, who he worked first name basis, who he worked with on Usual Suspects. He credits Benicio as being as much of a writer and director and all but name of this movie. A lot of it was contributed to by him.
And Benny, first name abbreviated to nickname. This is like, I think this was kind of in his doldrums, but he was right about a pop, because this is, I don't think Fear and Loathing took off, though he has a great performance in it, but this is going to be the same year as, or it's near the year of Traffic and something else that he would be big in. And so this is probably, well, I don't know how Benicio del Toro feels about this film. And we're not at reactions yet, because we haven't talked about.
It's a bit inscrutable, much like Tom Reagan in last week's film. I don't know if we will ever get a direct answer of how he feels about any of his movies.
True,
and that's part of his charm.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
He keeps working with Wes Anderson for some reason, and you know what? It's pretty great. He's a funny guy. Yeah. Who wants to take a stab or a shot at the plot of this movie?
Let's go for Ryan. You're so good at the temporal pincer movement. I know you're going to nail this plot.
Let's see. Our two leads, Ryan Philippe playing Parker and Benicio del Toro playing Longbaugh. I don't know how McQuarrie didn't get sued for naming a character Parker, but in any case, they are kicking around looking for some money. They want to be one score away from leaving the life of hoodlums, but they don't know where they're going to get that surrogate or that money from. So they stumble upon Juliette Lewis, who's having a surrogate child for some Richies, and they abduct her, hoping to ransom the unborn baby for $1 million. And stuff gets complicated because maybe the family doesn't care that much about the kid. There are all these outlaws and gunslingers sent to track them down, who also have ambivalent motives beyond just the monetary ones. And so, trouble and predicament, and then big shootout at the end.
Very good.
Yeah, the surrogate is actually had the father of the surrogate is not the dad, the crime boss.
Right. I just want to point out that if you're going to have a surrogate mom, Juliette Lewis, who's one of the tiniest people ever created by God, is not your vessel.
She is so good at the pregnant lady walk, though.
She is.
Yeah, I think she's a fantastic actor.
She's dynamite in this movie.
I don't care so much for baby daddy Stoll Brand David Caruso, though.
Oh my God. Doogie McHauser is what I call him. He looks like he's 12 years old.
He does, yeah.
He is definitely the weakest point of the entire cast. Every time I see him, it's like, he's a doctor?
Well, he's not a very good one because you know what happened back in Philly or
Back
whatever
in Baltimore. Hey, you remember Baltimore? And he says, yeah, Baltimore. Well, that thing in Baltimore really taught me something, that Baltimore thing. And then we never find out what the Baltimore thing is. Classic McQuarrie.
I thought we kind of did. Wasn't it like well, I guess it's just inferred that it's like sort of
made a
malpractice.
Yeah.
Oh.
This
I'm sorry. To your recap, Ryan, and
yes.
There was some scenes that were cut out that maybe Jack wants to talk about later. There was a different opening for this film, different opening in the script. But I did not catch that they were trying to get out of the life of crime at the beginning. Instead, I thought they were just living kind of hand to mouth, day to day, blood and semen donation to blood and semen donation.
Yeah, I think they are, but aren't they talking in the first scene about how they need to get some big thing happening?
Yeah, because they're broke.
I guess I assumed because of their overall pessimistic and nihilistic natures that they didn't really want to be doing what they were doing anymore, carrying around guns and stuff.
If you are a Zoomer looking for work and you are going to have an interview, I would highly recommend watching Way of the Gun and Felipe and Del Toro's interview with the semen clinic. It's on the sign.
What's on the side?
The sign outside.
Oh, on the sign.
Semen clinic. And then there's a neon jizz that goes up.
It's right next to the semen clinic that has an anchor that lights up for people in the Navy who maybe like I don't know, Chance Dubois over his name. No, that's not right. Chance from Hard Target. Oh, but okay.
Anyway.
So in that scene, in the sperm donation scene, which is the second scene of the movie, the first scene of the movie is the one that we did the television cold open for, where that was taken from McQuarrie, something that McQuarrie happened to McQuarrie kind of at a dog park, and he was thinking, oh, if I do get in this fight between me and Ultimate Frisbee people, and there's just me and my buddy here against all these Ultimate Frisbee people, I should punch a woman in the face. Because then they're going to hear about that when they go home. So that's how McQuarrie's mind works. It's great. The sperm donation scene being basically the second scene. There's like a montage where there's like voiceover. God help you if you use voiceover in your movie. Is just Del Toro. Okay, so Del Toro says like it's really important. They ask, "Are you a homosexual?" And he's, "I've never killed anybody." And they're like, it seems like a non sequitur, right? He says that it's really important to make sure on these things, if you're getting semen donations, that the person isn't a murderer, somebody who's homicidal. Okay. In the deleted part, everything else in this film says that this guy's killed somebody else, right? We agree?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. The second thing that he says, if I'm right, or the third thing he says is, I've never had sex with a dead person. So does that mean Del Toro's character, Longbell's, had sex with a dead person?
I think you're thinking too hard about it.
I think you felt more about this than McQuarrie thought about any component of this movie just then.
Way of the Gun fan fiction coming your way from Thomas. What else you got from McQuarrie's commentary? I'm curious.
Well, he doesn't like this movie very much, or at least in 2009 when he was probably jaded after not getting any work in the biz. He might have a different opinion on it now. Which I hope he does.
I'm sorry. When you say jaded, are you talking about the movie Jade and what happened to the director after making that piece of shit?
Yes.
Okay.
Jade was the one the plot was written on a napkin by Joe Ezerhaz, and they paid him like $1 million or $3 million, something crazy.
Yeah.
So that was a crazy time for screenwriting. Yeah, McQuarrie was a part of that, and he made his living, like Thomas was saying, punching up other people's screenplays. And
the actual David Caruso was in that movie.
Yep, not Doogie McHauser.
I'm sorry, Jack. I cut you off to when we said jaded to make a
Way of the
joke.
Gun, you might be surprised to learn, is cobbled together from a bunch of different screenplays.
No.
Yeah, the original cut of this was about 2.5 hours long, and apparently it was a lot more talky, a lot more Tarantino-y with, back and forth, quippy bullshit dialogue, insignificant shit between the criminals, a lot more monologues. Something that is one good example is the scene with him, Ryan Philippe and Juliette Lewis in the van. It's apparently a whole big scene where they're talking about the life of crime, and he has a big old monologue about what it means to be a criminal. And then Christopher McQuarrie, because according to him, he didn't know what the fuck he was doing, was just letting the cameras roll every time they shot a talkie scene like this. And at the very end of the scene, Juliette Lewis asked if she could have the other half of his sandwich, and that's the only part of the scene that they kept.
Oh, nice.
So they did that a lot. They cut out most of the talkie bullshit. And the scene in the motel in the middle where they're playing cards was something that was like the hardest thing to shoot and edit, because there was so much of the dynamics and the relationship between them, and then stuff where it's like, oh, they're softening on her, and then the audience sees that they're all hanging out together. But that's something that he didn't want this movie to be, and that's why in the opening scene they punch a woman in the face and then stomp on another lady's toes, because he wanted the opening scene of this movie to violate every rule of the protagonist, and to immediately, these guys are two unsympathetic pieces of shit.
Yeah.
And even though Ryan Philippe softens on her a little bit as the movie goes on, there's never anything where they pull a Road Warrior or pull a Han Solo. They have zero character development throughout this movie. And it really, the reason I love it so much is it seems like the antithesis to everything.
I'm sorry, but do they? Okay, so they talk about hearts, and then they're playing hearts, and that's definitely a scene that he copied and pasted from another film. And the other part of that was that there was going to be a moment where they were going to just cut like that whole scene out potentially. That's why the Totoro listens to the door a little bit. Is that they thought maybe they'd cut that, or they might even cut the scene maybe in the bar where he meets. Spoiler: Lewis's. I guess you have to be specific on Lewis. Lewis's alleged dad, which would be James Caan. Shit, I lost my train of thought. Oh, so wait, but they don't have to go after her for the money necessarily, right? It seems like they are doing this for her by the end. That there is that transformation.
Nah. I don't believe that.
You don't think so?
Because every time I watch this, at the scene where she blasts the shotgun through the motel door and then they peel off and drive away, I'm thinking if I were them, there's another movie where they just
keep
forget
going.
the whole thing.
Yeah,
just move on to the next script. But I really think they're only in it for the 15 million. I don't think they care what happens to her at all throughout any of this.
Well, there's an earlier moment where they first kidnap her from the doctor's office where they basically do that. They're like, well, fuck this.
Yeah. And
that's something that, does violate like the rule of what your protagonists are going to be doing, I guess. But because it's only her not listening to Taye Diggs, and not getting on the elevator with that really funny extra.
He's just staring at her. Yeah.
And then doesn't know what the fuck to think when she gets off of it. And then they're kind of right back in it. But they were like, they clearly knew they were over their head, and then that leads to the first of these are like mini McQuarrie set pieces where they don't have the budget of the Mission Impossible films, but those are really where he excels. That weird car chase where they get out and run ahead, and then the guys get out and then they get back in and they drive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Car chase.
Ghost riding the whip.
Yeah, it's cool. And that's a set piece, and then you have obviously the ending is an amazing shootout.
So you don't think that they have a change of heart towards
because
so the Totoro character Longbow knows that it's not that she is Khan's daughter, and I thought he also knew that it's not, like they find out in the hotel room that it's not store brand David Crusoe's kid.
Yeah.
It just seems like the hotel at the end would have been done differently if they did not care about her in the least, whether she lived or died.
Well, that's the only reason he knows that they're actually going to come with the 15 million is because she's James Caan's daughter.
I mean, don't you stay in that hotel? Don't you stay in that hotel room's birthing center, and it's not really a birthing center, that dingy bed, and do you take the baby and use the baby as hostage then?
No, then
or you go steal babies from a maternity ward, and then I don't know. I'm rewriting the film. It just doesn't. As a viewer, my one and only time, it didn't feel like they were the antithesis of these cool, I don't know, anti-heroic criminals.
Right.
Okay, we're about 30 minutes in. I can get into reactions. One of the reasons I love this movie is all the messiness, and some of it's quite bad. Like I think Doogie McHauser and the wife, the blonde wife, they're terrible. But then you have, and Philippe is kind of out of his league too. But I go along with it because he is bad enough that I don't like him, and I think that's better for the movie.
Philippe is the best part of this entire movie. Hot take.
And also,
such a hot take.
Yeah. And I totally love, one of my favorite things in movies is groups of badass guys who are basically middle-aged men in windbreakers. I think that is so accurate. And nowadays you have like all the buff guys and they're holding the rifle the exact same way and going in. But in reality, it's all these ex-Black Ops guys who are just in private security for these mob bosses, and they're all like dudes that look like me but wearing windbreakers and khakis.
Yeah.
I love and that end shootout with them is again Peckinpah. It's the Wild Bunch, basically, without going back to save their buddy. Also a great set piece. The entire thing inside and then outside is it's like I would hire McQuarrie after that to direct another movie. Just tone down all the weird shit. But the weird shit is what makes me. Well, no, what makes me love this movie. It's so messy.
Yeah,
and there's nothing about it that seems like the movie we talked about a couple weeks ago, Caught Stealing. There's nothing about it that's surprising, and that's not a bad thing necessarily. But everything about this movie is just kind of weird and messy. And it's so distinct that I think it's one of those movies that's great despite itself.
Well said.
I mean, well said. Bad take. So Ryan, a few episodes back, was talking about his hatred of William Peterson and how he just takes him out of the film. And that is also a terrible take, well articulated. I do like Cruel Intentions a lot as a movie. I do feel like wannabe Paul Walker, Ryan Philippe in this film is doing what Ryan said that William Peterson does, which is not act and draw attention to the fact that he thinks he's a good actor.
Jack, what's your counter that he's the best part of the movie?
I think it's exactly that, and what you said, that he's out of his depth. I think he's playing someone that's out of his depth and trying to be too big for his boots and trying to be this confident, hardened criminal that he absolutely isn't. And he has fucking frosted tips and peach fuzz and a baby face. Like this is not someone that is equipped to do this morally hardened, horrible thing that he is trying to do. And that's what makes the other side of that, when you see him running around with these guns like a trained Navy SEAL or torturing someone
Nicky Cat,
horrifically. R.I.P. It gives it's almost shocking. It just gives it this layer of, I could totally see someone in real life acting exactly like this.
Huh. Well said.
Thank you.
And a great take.
An interesting take for sure, yeah.
And yeah, as the movie goes, I mean, I would love to see, like, one of the original ideas in the script was that the opening scene was going to have the Sarah Silverman stuff, but then also be this, like, a trailer for the movie that you're about to watch that quickly goes through, like, the backstory of these two guys. And I'm glad that isn't in the movie. I'm glad that he has cut out anything superfluous about anyone's backstory except for that one sort of monologue Philippe has about the pedophile that he killed. But I love just imagining, like, how did these two meet? Like, what are their backstories? I love that it doesn't give you any of that, because it just makes the whole thing all that more mysterious and fascinating to me. That Del Toro's character seems to really be the hardened one, and you can picture him in almost sort of a mentor kind of state. But that constantly they're sort of egging each other along, even when they're putting guns to each other's heads and arguing and stuff. It almost gives it like neither of them really want to be doing this. Neither of them really want to be in this movie. But they are for that $15 million in the center of a fountain, right?
Ryan, what are your thoughts on this? You're the only one that shares a name with one of the main actors.
That's true.
Does that make you want to like it more?
When it came out, I really wanted to like it. I remember watching it 2 or 3 times, once in the theater and then a couple times on video, thinking, I think because I loved Tarantino and Usual Suspects so much, that there must be something there. And this time I just found it to be Boondock Saints level Tarantino ripoff that misunderstands everything that the best noir and hard-boiled movies of the 90s understood. It just felt...
Which is?
I think those movies succeed when they like their characters, even when their characters are awful people. I don't think this movie... It just feels airless. It feels like a bunch of people talking out of the sides of their mouths and shooting at each other, because that's what happens in this kind of 90s crime picture, you know? Like 2 Days in the Valley or these other things that came out around this time that were... And when you said, Jack, that it was originally 2.5 hours, I mean, I'm thinking that he thought he was writing Pulp Fiction, you know, level of quality, and then got in the editing room and was like, oh, maybe not.
Interesting.
I wrote down Boondock Saints as well because...
Wow, my gosh.
Well, look, in 2020, I rewatched Do the Right Thing, which is not uncommon. I rewatched it a bunch, but also a lot of other Spike Lee joints. And I had this moment where I'm like, fuck, this has been BLM's just like a cyclical thing where we just get fed up with what already doesn't really change.
Right.
Or is it just, and then it might change a little bit and then like it swings back, and it felt terrible to like watch something that was that old, 89 for Do the Right Thing. And I'm like, man, we haven't really come all that far, though it felt like I thought that we had, or it felt different. And I feel the same way about this film, The Manosphere, where you have those like late 90s films like Boondock Saints, and it's like trying to be edgy for the sake of edgy, or offensive for the sake of offensive. Poning, before we had that term, and I just it doesn't. it doesn't do much for me. Like it actually just turns me off.
Weird. I would watch if it was between this and Reservoir Dogs. I would watch this every single time.
Wow.
That's not a dig on Reservoir Dogs, which I quite enjoy, but I find all the things that Thomas just said to apply to that movie. With all the stupid dialogue and all the winking at the camera and all the cool guy torture shit. Which again, I like Reservoir Dogs. It's a fun movie.
But the other part there that I wanted to just point out is that, so like whenever you and Jack or people in in those other corners that are saying that they like this film isn't totally terrible. They don't actually talk. You just talk about Totoro and Felipe, and you might get to Khan. You haven't talked about Jeffrey Lewis yet, but you're also leaving out like the other half of this movie, which is shot like it's a different movie and feels like a different movie, where you have a bunch of actors who you won't see show up elsewhere, and Ty Diggs being misused and not given like one of the most attractive men ever, one of the most charismatic men ever. And it's just like, he's stuck being this detail and a side lover. Like it doesn't like, yeah, well, you leave out that half of the film to be able to talk about the action set pieces. There's a lot of soap opera bullshit going on in this film.
I mean, the stuff with the doctor is definitely the weak point of the film, but the stuff with the husband and the wife and the security guys and that dynamic, and then the husband talking about it almost is like a Parker novel where they're talking about an outfit or organization that they're part of, but you never get any detail of. I like all that stuff. I don't really like his wife. I don't think she's a very good actress in this. She's been good in other things. And I also don't think Doogie McHauser is very good. It's the weakest part of the movie.
It's my favorite part of the movie. I love the second act. And Chris, friend of the podcast, describes it as a soap noir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is a new way to pronounce the word noir. And also, I think that's a perfect description because it almost feels like the parts of Twin Peaks season 2 that people hate.
That's what I was going to say.
That's my favorite
season
part.
2, baby.
It's the James in season 2 storyline, which is my favorite thing in all of Twin Peaks.
That may be the most trollish thing you've ever said, Jack.
No, I love that, and I love the Ben Horn Confederate soldier stuff.
That's good. That's good.
Anyway, that's the stuff that I love the most because you're not going to find that in a Tarantino movie. You're not going to find that in a Guy Ritchie movie. They're not interested in that sort of stuff because that stuff is inherently sort of not very interesting. And the fact that this nihilistic, grisly, bloody crime movie stops for an entire act to focus on that is something that I haven't seen before, and I love shit that I haven't seen before.
Part of the mess is, Jeffrey Lewis is Juliette Lewis's father. And
Introduced. Two things there. He's introduced, putting cleaning, like he's cleaned his pistols. He has like maybe 6 to 8 pistols on a coffee table, and I'm like, is that Jeffrey Lewis? And I'm like, yeah, it's Jeffrey Lewis. It's wild. I thought it was James Caan for a moment. No, it's Jeffrey Lewis in a trailer. Drinking, has all these pistols, revolvers, and you see him put a bullet in one of them, spin the chamber, put it and all the other revolvers in a what criminals use to rob your house. People have them in their pillows, a pillowcase. Put it in a pillowcase and reach in like the lottery. Pull one out and put it to his head and pull the trigger. And so he's playing like a
Russian roulette.
Yes.
Yeah.
We call that Ukrainian roulette. Polish roulette. And that's his introduction. And then he gets a phone call and we pick up with him later in the film, whenever he's helping out James Caan as part of the members only mafia, wherever they are.
Yeah.
And he spends the entire movie, the entire second act of the movie, standing behind the diner.
Yeah.
not being able to get cell service,
Not
Yep.
able to get cell
which
service.
feels like something from a David Lynch movie. Like
Yeah.
that feels like a David Lynch gag.
I do like the moment where they're in the. I don't like the moment they're in the bar, but when they leave the bar and then Khan peels off, go one way, Totoro the other, and then he turns around. Totoro turns around with the gun, and he's not there. He's like, he thought he might pull a gun on him because he's the bag man.
Yeah.
And then he meets up, and then you still have that same shot, and you see him go around the corner where Jeffrey Lewis is standing there. Now, later in the film, and I don't know if this is just supposed to be a self-referential joke or whatever for the audience, Totoro says about Khan and Khan's character and Juliette Lewis's character, you can tell when somebody's family.
Mm-hmm.
When her actual biological dad is in the film.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Can we talk about what we talked about here? What we came here to talk about?
Squibs. Rat-tat-tat.
Can we talk about the first scene of the film first?
Yes.
And then I want to talk about the scenes that were cut, which I think might have made a better film.
Interesting.
And then I want to ask, why does the wife eavesdrop all the time when none of that comes about? Like nothing. She has no role in this.
It's a soap noir.
You're going to ask? You just did.
Go ahead, Ryan.
The first scene of the film, which read very much like it was supposed to be shocking in 2000, just reads shocking in a whole different way. And I think for me, it's like one of the things that says a lot about the movie overall, where the rigorous queer bashing covers up what is otherwise a totally hilarious scene. Like everybody in that scene is so funny. All of the lines that Sarah Silverman says are funny, except that it's just all queer bashing. And the movie so many times goes out of its way to be offensive at the expense of things like the James Caan character, the Jeffrey Lewis character, and these things that are really interesting. And it's like, no, we got to go pretend to shoot pregnant people or whatever instead,
All right. You would have preferred the N-word said 100 times.
No. I think as I said in the Django episode, I have a really hard time. I don't really revisit Tarantino movies as much as I love them anymore because that sort of stuff is also really off-putting to me. It's the 90s were so much about punching down all the time.
Yeah.
And
that's fair.
That really comes off. I was amazed pressing play just how within the first 30 seconds, this movie aged itself out of watchability for me.
Well, if the opening credits with the all lowercase font typewriter courier type font didn't tell you that you were in the 90s or 2000. I don't know if you've ever seen a movie before. Can we do Squibs then?
Tie that 3-piece. I'm sorry, that suit with 3 buttons on it. Terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that 90s style.
Yeah.
Yes.
So in this movie, we have wall squibs, car squibs, windshield squibs, calf squibs, neck squib, foot squibs, door squibs, a dick squib, shutter squibs, windbreaker squibs, and pant squibs. There's quite a few squibs in this movie.
Very good.
Probably the best wall squibs we have seen.
Yeah.
Miller's Crossing was pretty good. That had ceiling squibs and floor squibs. But the wall squibs here in that last shootout,
phenomenal.
Amazing.
Does anyone have a best?
I like a dick squib.
The dick squib's pretty great.
Yeah, it is. I like Tay Diggs.
I think the next squib is
Doogie McHauser shoots Tay Diggs. That's a great. It's both a shocking moment and it's also a great.
I don't think is it a squib? I thought that was a squirt. I don't think you actually have an explosion there, Ken.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm. I don't mind being wrong. Are we going to just go with the dick squib?
I mean, dick squib is a classic. Shotgun to the dick, white pants.
Shotgun, yeah. Do we have a worst?
Is there anything bad with the sniper rifle? I'm trying to think.
I mean, I would say the sniper rifle in general is.
Well, you don't get to see a couple people get shot with a sniper rifle and
they just kind of fall over.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no big bloody sniper squibs.
The original script, which if you want, whenever I send you the DVD, again, just send your address. I'll pay for it. Like the storyboards, and it has the actual script that you can toggle through on the DVD special features, or maybe it's a Blu-ray I have. I don't know. Either way, it's yours. There's a whole scene that he wrote for Christopher Walken, who's dying of cancer, and he has a dog, and this dog fighting that's going on, and he wanted to shoot it like a trailer for a movie that they would then interrupt towards the end as things get worse and worse for them. This being the Longbow and Parker characters, and then they would eventually even take the filter off the camera to show what it really looks like, as opposed to a beautiful film, like something that's just foggy and gross in LA. And that would be their transition to get over to Fort Worth or wherever they're at. In that, there's part of that is, I think, at the dog fight, they end up shooting both dogs with Del Toro's character Longbow using a sniper rifle. So all of a sudden, it doesn't come out of nowhere that these guys are hardened criminals, that they do hits, that they've assassinated people in the past, that they have a sniper rifle.
Uh-huh.
And I think it sets up the film of this is a film that's going to be making fun of these type of films. And without that, it's really hard for me to know how to watch the film if that's his intention. And instead I watch it like Boondock Saints.
Well, it sounds like a lot of movies. It sounds like he found the movie such as it is in editing.
Yeah. I think that's what I like the most about it, is that when I was 13, I probably unironically thought these guys were really badass and cool. And Benicio del Toro is kind of badass because of his hair mostly and the way he holds a gun. But
his coat?
Such
a great fucking jacket in this movie.
Wearing that jacket in 90-degree heat.
He's just
Mexico,
always a badass.
awesome.
My man.
Benicio's amazing.
Great. Yeah.
But yeah, they're just kind of losers. And one thing I really wanted to mention is that Chris, friend of the pod, if anyone's listening, he retweeted us once when we were still on Twitter, right? Or said something.
It was the train.
It was the train. He said, "Yeah, it is."
One of his favorite movies.
One of his favorite movies. Anyway, friend of the pod.
Officially a friend.
He said of the torture scene, which is probably the part that I find hardest about this movie, especially because it comes after the Philippi character being kind of vulnerable, and then it seems like such a hard right turn. He says that in the context of a movie where they are trying to go save Juliette Lewis and her baby, that their actions are forgivable. That them torturing that guy who doesn't even really deserve it is forgivable if they're the heroes of the movie going to save the day. But that's the whole thesis of the movie, is that they are doing stuff that in any other movie would be awesome or would be forgivable because there is a point to the violence, that they're doing something heroic in the end. And the fact that there isn't, that they're literally going into a mouse trap that always has the cheese or whatever he says. It is so on the nose and so juvenile and so over the top and so stupid. But for some reason, it's the exact kind of over the top and stupid that I need in this moment.
Huh.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well said.
I do think there was definitely space to make a movie that commented on 90s violence. And so, yeah, I wish he had nailed it, because it's certainly a good reason to make a movie.
Yeah. Like Natural Born Killers.
I mean,
another movie
we
I love.
don't know about Oliver Stone.
Well, I guess maybe if we're still on social media, we could put on social media if we ever crack the nut of what movie does successfully do that.
That's a good question.
Natural Born Killers.
I don't think there is one. But there should
be. I do enjoy parts of this film, despite disliking the film entirely. The chase scene of a car going slowly and jumping in and out of it is fairly brilliant.
Yeah, that's a good scene.
Getting around, I think Ken even said, when he's budgetary constraints, whenever they run out of the fertility clinic, or I'm sorry, not fertility clinic, but the
semen
hospital. and there's a bunch of gunfire. You don't see any of it, but you see how they move out of it, like covering each other. Like all that is solid action. And then the last gun scene in the hotel with all the elderly, not elderly, they're not that old, midlife, hardened, grizzled killers coming in. That's great and fun. It's just, it's really hard for me to enjoy the movie. But whenever Felipe jumps over the fountain into where there's glass,
Oh yeah.
it is good. Like I don't know if I just enjoy seeing him in pain, but it's a great accidental moment in an action film that helps feel like there's a little bit more realism to the setting that's going on. And apparently the gunplay is a lot more realistic of reloading than what typically goes on in these films.
Yeah.
I do really think there is a Friends of Eddie Coyle style movie just about James Caan and Jeffrey Lewis and Taye Diggs and Nicky Katt and how they're all blue collar mafia guys. Those were by far the most enjoyable pieces of the movie when they're trying to figure out what to do and how to move in this weird ass situation. But I would say
that if you wanted a movie about the 90s violence, that you could go to the early 90s and the best film about film violence ever made, Unforgiven.
I was going to go ahead.
I always go back to Unforgiven though. When it comes to violence on screen.
I was thinking that what we need to do is wait another 10 to 20 years for 120-year-old Clint Eastwood to reunite with David Webb Peoples to make the Unforgiven take on 90s crime movies,
post Tarantino,
the post Tarantino, just the same way he summed up the entire history of violence in westerns. Go after Tarantino and his ilk that way as well.
We just need to upload their consciousness to an AI bot.
Also for the socials, maybe we put our rankings out there. I'm going to go like Fargo, Rosemary's Baby, Alien 3, then Look Who's Talking, then Juno, then Children of Men, and then this movie for movies for seeing them.
Juno above Children of Men?
I do think, Thomas, you captured maybe what makes McQuarrie great in that we both thought this was a terrible movie, but there are a number of scenes and set pieces that we think are pretty awesome. Normally I would just think something was garbage from beginning to end if I felt as strongly as I do about this movie, but you got to hand it to, there's 45 minutes of this movie that are golden,
And McQuarrie is stuck in the cruise ship right now.
Cruise room.
Well, I think he's free now. We'll see what he does.
No,
next.
the next movie he's doing is like a space movie with Tom Cruise or something. Maybe that's a different one. But
he had talked between finishing the Mission Impossible movies, which I haven't even seen the last one because I've 3 hours of that is way too much. But he talked about he and Tom Cruise going to do an R-rated gnarly movie, something Tom Cruise hasn't done before. Since then, that's softened, and now they're doing like some adaptation of some bullshit. I don't know what it is. But I would love to see this McQuarrie with Tom Cruise. Back to. I mean, I'm a big fan of the Reacher movie he made. Yeah. I want more McQuarrie at more street level.
Ooh, you want to maybe make it the third? Isn't there a second Reacher movie with him in it?
Yeah,
that he directed.
Yeah, terrible.
Okay, no, I didn't know if the third one. Oh, he didn't direct it.
No, he's the producer, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
It's
unbelievable.
I want to make a prediction that probably I'll never be held to account, but I don't think McQuarrie and Cruise will work again together after the
Not for the origin story of Reacher. The Zero. It's called, I don't know, Reacher Round. The round is just the zero. It has a zero for the O in round.
I think after the middling reception of Dead Reckoning and The Final Reckoning, and also Cruise is getting old, man. He can't do this action shit anymore. I think he's going back to drama, to straight drama and prestige film, and I don't think he's gonna be messing with McQuarrie again. personally.
No, I think they're tight.
I think that he should, but do it like a con role. Do it as an older person.
Ooh.
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah,
he can
that's
relive like Collateral, like kind of his persona in Collateral.
Just let your hair go gray, Mr. Cruz. Come on, we know that shit. I mean, you have the best hair dyers in the world, but it does not look right on that face. He's got like this long golden brown hair. He didn't have brown hair when he was younger. It was dark hair, right?
Yeah.
Black hair.
Yeah.
I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
And his face is somehow morphed into. This is not a complaint because Tom Cruise is starting to look his age, and it's great. But he's starting to look like late era Norm Macdonald.
Yeah.
Well, a handsome man.
Oh yeah,
Canadian.
the goat, Norm Macdonald, R.I.P.
Didn't he have a
even know
lot
he
of
was
gambling problems?
Norm Macdonald? No, he
Yeah.
had cancer.
Oh, okay. He can't have both.
No, you cannot.
Okay, so are we going to put up the poll on the socials? McG or McQ for better director?
Yes. I like one McG movie.
You do?
Yeah.
Terminator Salvation?
No. He made one good movie, didn't he?
Did he?
Terminator Salvation?
No, it wasn't that one.
This Means War with Chris Pine. Tom
The Babysitter.
Hardy.
The Babysitter with
People like that one.
Bella
Jonah
Thorne.
Hex? Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good movie.
Okay. Yeah, he's otherwise too.
But everything else he's made is terrible.
I didn't realize he directed that.
You said
What was
Jonah
it?
Hex?
I couldn't remember his last name. It was the
Hill?
first one that popped
Jonah
in my
Hill?
head. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I had the first letter right.
Oh, Jonah Hill is Jonah Hex?
Oh, that's a movie right there. What's going on over there? Oh, Ryan had to mute himself.
I have a handoff, a child handoff taking place in the background here.
Okay, well, we're about to wrap this up. Right?
Yeah.
Wow. Is there money involved?
Yes, I'm getting paid.
Are you
$1
getting
million.
arrested?
I'm getting paid $1 million to let the kid go with mom.
Ah,
Yeah,
Okay, is that mom in quotation marks?
mom. Yeah.
we will have another pairing for you next week, depending on whether or not we decide to scrap 2 episodes or not.
Yeah.
We'll determine what that is.
But we're going to have a great movie next week, and it's going to have squibs.
Woo.
Ryan, thank you for the theme song.
Thank
you, Ryan.
Thank you for the ambient background noise.
Thank you, Thomas, for your terrible takes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Thomas, for your wonderful opening, edited for television.
Yeah. Thank you for not making me overwatch this film again.
Oh, if we do a redo season again.
If we do
No.
a redo, we're doing this.
Yeah, Redux 2.
Redux 2, I'm doing Way of the Gun.
It's-
I'm doing an
Okay,
unlabeled-
then it's going to be redo and
And She-Devil happens to be on that list.
Yeah.
it's going to be this White Hunter Black Heart.
Wow.
Postal.
Oh, my God.
I do
Oh,
think
Antichrist.
Yeah. All right. This is like the Avengers of.
Terrible movies.
wow.
And White Hunter Blackheart.
Thomas, the
Info
pain of this rewatch was worth it for your introduction, which was almost as good as the Fridge and a Stranger in the Alps scene from Big Lebowski.
On it follow Walker down South American way. It got squibby, sticky, messy when they got there that day. Peyton lost his love and so he made a face. Django met a dentist, but big holes in little brains. Montoya's chest exploded, somehow wasn't the cocaine. And there were squibs when they died. There were squibs when they died. And there were squibs when they died. There were squibs when they died. Yeah, they made a big
going to wish you never got up this frying morning, Aspen hole, because my boyfriend's gonna fight you up.